So, in my previous video, I talked about how confused I would be when people would argue about science versus spirituality. And I understand that with science and scientists, they want things, they want to be able to test things out, and it has to be proven. If it's not proven, then it's not real. And I get that aspect of it, but it's always been apparent to me that because everything is connected, you don't have one with the out the other. Then how do you separate the two? It just made no sense. It's like it just didn't add up for me. Okay, what I know is that spirituality is what we are born into. That is our birthright. But then when I talk about spirit, I'm also talking about the spirit world. I'm talking about that only 2%, I would say about 2, very small percentage of what is really in our environment we can see. Okay. So all of this, I don't care how cluttered your space is, that's a very minuscule percentage of what's actually there. Okay. And because we vibrate at a lower frequency, as human beings, we can only see certain things. Okay. Everything vibrates, even though it looks like it is solid. I'm trying to find something. My cute little lamp. Even though this looks solid and you can hear all of this, it's vibrating at a frequency. It's a low and slow frequency. So if you can imagine a hologram, how a hologram you can kind of see through it and it's kind of moving. Now imagine if the vibration of the hologram slowed down. At that point, it would no longer be a hologram, but it would appear to be solid. So that said, again, physics, quantum physics, okay, metaphysics, science, spirituality, all one and the same. All right, so, and this has been proven, okay? So, what happens is you have an illusion of a solid because it's vibrating so slow, but honestly, it's moving. And what we are feeling is the pushback from the solid, or the so called perceived solid. It's the pushback from this piece of matter that you feel when you really think, and that's giving you the illusion that it is still stagnant and solid. All right. So to take this even further, we have okay, we have our human bodies, but our human bodies is not all there is. All right. Many of us know this, but in case you don't, when you hold your hands out, just hold your hands out as far, out to the sides. Okay, that is about where your energy torus stops. And it is like a donut. So imagine yourself in the hole of a donut, and all around you, you have an energetic field. And there is evidence whenever you feel like someone is in your personal space, you can feel that because they are in your energetic field. Their energetic field and yours are merging, okay, entangling. You can just Google energy torus and you'll see it. You can see it around the planet, you can see it around our bodies. There are images about that. You can go down a rabbit hole on that whole thing. So, what happens, and that is sacred geometry. Now, we can't see it, but that's what's there. That is our life force, okay? And so when we're breathing, the energy is going up and out, and it's constantly doing this as long as we're breathing. That is a form of sacred geometry, okay? You have everything, the universe is math. Everything is math. Everything, as above, so below. Sacred geometry in nature. We are nature. Case in point, look at the back of a baby's head and you will see, and you can see this in adults too if they have a short haircut, but you'll see how the hair grows in a spiral, okay, like a spool. That is sacred geometry. The way the rose petals layer around, sacred geometry. It's in all of nature. Look at a tree. How do the branches grow out? And then from the branches, how do the leaves grow out? Sacred geometry. Everything is math. As above, so below. That's why when I talk about being impeccable with your word and being specific and clear about what it is you want when you are trying to manifest, that's why I talk about it, because everything is concise. Everything is precise, okay? And everything needs clarity in order. It's like the universe is this giant stamp, and it's going around stamping over people's auric fields. What is in your auric field? Is your mindset of I'm prosperous and abundant in your auric field? If it is, then you get more of that. Is your mindset disempowering thoughts? I'm not enough. I'm unworthy. Then you get more evidence of that to make you think that you're not worthy, when in fact you are. But some people don't really understand and realize that they're magnificent, okay? Everybody is. Everyone is. Everyone is magical and powerful. But I digress. So, as above, so below. So, you have math everywhere, you have sacred geometry everywhere. But then, check this out. When we go to build a house, what do? We draw up what? A map of the house, and we do the blueprint, which has what? A lot of math and geometry in it. When you go to bake a cake, what are you doing? Measuring, science, baking everything that you do, everything that you do. When you go to mix paint to do art, what is it? When you go to design something for somebody to wear in fashion, what is it? The same thing. Back to the energy Taurus, and I'm kind of hopping around here because this is just a riff, but I'm throwing all this stuff out there because, like, for me, I like to be able to go down rabbit holes. If something sparks my interest and resonates with me, I'd like to take that piece of information and then expound, learn more, build my knowledge on it, or even go to validate and verify that it's real, that it's true. Is this person telling it like it is? Is it true? Okay. So, with the energetic Taurus, the toric field, your auric field has many names. You can actually feel it when you push your hands out. You can actually feel your toroidal field. And I'm just going to throw one more thing in there, and then I'm going to come back to the field. Take your hands and do this, and then do this. Our hands are webbed, but we cannot see it, okay? And that's just a little bit more magic, because I like to use my hands. I am a healing conduit, to be specific. But I like to use my hands to help people heal themselves. Okay. And this is just another validation, something that you can play around with. Like, what? We have webs. What is that? But feel it. Back to the toroidal field. The toric, I say toric, but I think it's toroidal. Your energy Taurus, your aura. When you look at electrical work, that image is repeated in some of the tools and the little bobs and bibs in electrical work. Look at a lot of the things around you. Look at the makings and inner workings of a lot of the things that are in your space. You will see math and sacred geometry in there. And everything is reflective of each other. Everything is all reflected. And what I will venture to say is what you see in your space is you, because there is no separation. Separation is an illusion. That's why, and when I realized this, that's what actually helped me to better understand other people and myself more than anything. Because then it's like, well, if I have this complaint about this person, or this to say or think or feel about this person, that's really just a mirror back at me. Imagine if you're at one of those circuses or those carnivals and you go into the room of mirrors, and then there's an infinite amount of images of you in the mirrors. But each of those images of you in the mirrors takes a different form. So it could be Betsy Sue down the street. It could be Joe Mack up the road around the corner. It could be the kitty cat that's up in the tree. It could be, the ant that's crawling up the wall. But all of those mirrors images are you, because there is no separation. So it gave me the opportunity to kind of fall back and just reflect on myself. Why do I feel this way? What in my field is lingering about to make this type of thing, show itself to me? This experience show itself to me. What cleaning do I need to do in my auric field in order to not only remove that particular experience, but to elevate my experiences? What do I need to do? Anyway, I know that I kind of went all over the place a little bit with this because it's really exciting to talk about. I love sharing with people and helping them remember who they are. We are more than what meets the eye. And when I see people saying they're unworthy and not enough, I'm like, I wish that they could wrap their minds around the fact that each person is an individual blueprint. So although we're one, we each have these different nuances. I mean, look at the color wheel, not the color wheel, but the color spectrum. I went to get my toenails done the other day, and there were like a gazillion shades of pinks, and those gazillion shades of pinks went into oranges, and then those went into yellows and greens. And they weren't that much different from each other, but they were different enough for me to be like, ooh, I can't choose. They're all so beautiful, right? And that's us. That's us. We all have a purpose. Okay, we're all meant to be. All right, we are all magnificent. We're all more than what meets the eye. We each chose these physical avatars for whatever reason in this time, So, anyway, but it's all magic, it's all science, it's all real, it's all an illusion, it's all a game. Until the next video, live simply and be kind.